Welcome to Philanthropy in Focus, where we shine a light on the people and organizations making a difference in our communities. From executive leaders to frontline team members, each episode offers an inside look at the mission, challenges, and opportunities shaping the nonprofit sector today. Whether you're a donor, volunteer, or simply looking to connect with causes that matter, this series is designed to inform and inspire, reflecting Heritage's commitment to helping families align their wealth with purpose and impact. I'm your host, Carrie Miller, Director of Philanthropy at Heritage Wealth Advisors, and today we're joined by Christy Pietryga, CEO of Hearth, and Meagan Roberts, a partner at Heritage Wealth Advisors and a board member at Hearth. We're going to talk about how Hearth helps mothers and children move from crisis to stability, and we'll also dig into their legacy giving initiative and why that matters.
Thank you, Carrie. Such a pleasure to be here today.
Great. Okay. Well, to get started, Christy, will you share what Hearth is, who you serve, and what you mean by helping families move from crisis to stability?
Yes, Hearth serves moms and kids who've experienced homelessness or domestic violence. We are located in Western PA. However, we serve families from all over the country. I believe right now we're serving moms from 4 different states, PA, of course, being one of them. And what we do is we provide housing and supports as moms and kiddos are either fleeing an unsafe situation or living in a place not meant for human habitation. That might be a car, a shelter, and we provide not only resources and support, but hope and healing as well.
Well, Christy, thanks for that. You shared with me when we were talking earlier that you offer safe, affordable housing paired with personalized wraparound services, and you were just alluding to some of that. What are a few of the supports you most want people to understand, especially for children and moms rebuilding stability?
Yeah, a few of the services that we're really proud of at Hearth, first of all, is that our staff actually work in the same building where our families reside. So in the building where my office is, upstairs on the 2nd and 3rd floors, are 16 apartments where families reside in 2 or 3 bedroom units, fully furnished by the Hearth team. So if you are coming to Hearth and you have little or few items, that's no problem. We fully furnish every bedroom and living room, the kitchen, and we also ask mom about the kiddos, some of their favorite colors and characters and toys. So we make sure their bedding is aligned with something that they really love, and we also line the couch with toys for the kids. So you can imagine walking into the apartment with the family for the first time is a pretty emotional experience. Not only is mom walking into a safe and secure building, but walking into an apartment that was tailored just for them, with kiddos who are running to the couch, ready to play. There are oftentimes many tears shed, if I'm being very honest, but it's a really beautiful time. And while moms are living here, families can reside at Hearth for up to 2 years. If there needs to be extensions, we can allow that, but it really allows mom to take the time that she needs to not only heal, but to dream and to hope. And so we provide supports when it comes to employment and education. We also have on-site, no-cost mental health therapy for both moms, kiddos, and the family unit. One thing we added this past year, which we really love, is our Saturday morning boys mentorship program. So our boys on campus love to hang out with a mentor that we have who comes on site. They play basketball on our sports court or play on the playground. Sometimes they just sit on our comfy couch area of our kids room and talk. And I love that. I love that there is a time and space for boys to learn and grow. And then, of course, helping with housing resources such as home ownership. And many moms who come to Hearth can't believe that we are talking home ownership 6 to 8 months after they've moved into Hearth. But we've partnered with such great organizations locally in the Pittsburgh region who really want to come alongside families for home ownership. And Hearth is actually an acronym, which I love. And it stands for Homelessness Ends with Advocacy, Resources, Training, and Housing. And really, that's our mission, that we want to help families end their episode of homelessness and seek stability and healing.
Wow. Well, what a wonderful organization. And I love that you have such a long timeline, a 2-year timeline to really allow people to get back on their feet and families to be able to pause and slow down in a safe environment. So what do you wish the broader community better understood about what families are navigating when they arrive at Hearth?
When mom and her kids come to Hearth, usually, and what we've found with all of our families, mom has been focusing on the kids' safety and well-being for the past few months or years, or maybe their whole lives. And really, her goals and her aspirations have been put to the side. And so what we love to do is come alongside mom and support her in completing a new training program or finishing school, landing a new job, or going to therapy for the first time, and really, unpacking some past trauma that she's experienced. And what we love about that is that moms don't feel so alone, that we are here to provide an after school program so that mom has a few hours after school to run to the grocery store or to get back from work, whatever that might be for mom. And so there's so many things that moms are navigating when they come to Hearth, and we tailor each plan according to their goals and their needs. So our program team meets with our families, each individual family, every week, at least once, and we go through a service plan. What are some goals that you have? How can we help? What can we do? We're thankful to have a lot of grant funders and foundations that come around Hearth to support moms who, we just assisted mom in paying a permit fee so she could get her license. No big deal. Let's just, that is a cost Hearth will cover, or get your phone fixed or your car fixed, or, a training program. And so we're really thankful to have the support of the community to alleviate some of the stresses, especially financial stressors that moms may be experiencing.
That's great. So what would you say Hearth's greatest need right now is, and how can supporters make the biggest difference?
Support at Hearth can look so many different ways, and that is what's great about Hearth, is that you could be interested in running a household items drive or a food drive with your local community, church, or group, and that goes directly to moms. It makes a direct impact if you want to gather those items for Hearth. We also have a program through Pennsylvania's Neighborhood Assistance Program, where companies can give to Hearth through tax credits. And we, of course, like every other organization, donations through checks or monthly giving are always an option. But Hearth also is venturing into legacy giving. And how can we loop your donor advised fund into what we're doing here at Hearth? And so what we like to do is really ask the donor or supporter, what would you love to do? Like, what do you see your contribution being, and how can we align with your goal that you have?
Thanks, Christy. This is a great opportunity to loop in Meagan. And Meagan, you serve as a board member of Hearth while also advising families professionally at Heritage. So what drew you to the organization, and what has board service meant to you personally?
Sure. I was initially introduced to Hearth through a program called Leadership Development Initiative in Pittsburgh. Part of that program, we attended what I'm going to call like a board speed dating session. So there were a number of nonprofits there, and we had an opportunity to meet each one of them and learn about their mission. So Hearth was one of the 9 organizations that participated in the event, and I was drawn to them right from the get-go. They were easily my first choice for that potential board match and placement. I would say there's something about the clarity of their mission and how tangible the impact really was that resonated with me. As a mom myself, it connected on a different level, and the focus that Christy spoke to earlier on helping mothers and children move from that crisis to stability just felt incredibly meaningful. It makes you think about, what stability really means for a family in that situation. From a professional standpoint, I do spend time with families thinking and talking about their long-term goals and what it takes for them to feel grounded. And I would say Hearth approaches this in such a thoughtful way. I mean, we've already been able to hear that from everything that Christy has shared already, providing that safe housing, but also surrounding families with the individualized support. So they're not just getting through that hard moment. They're truly rebuilding is just amazing. Serving on the board has been incredibly meaningful. I started with just a 1-year guest role through the program. I've since officially committed to becoming a board member. So I'm really excited for the coming years for that. But it's really deepened my appreciation for what these families are navigating and going through, and how intentional Hearth and Christy and her amazing team are in really creating that lasting change. And I think it's also reinforced just how important it is for communities like ours to come alongside organizations like Hearth so they can continue doing this work over time.
Thank you, Meagan. Well, you brought up legacy giving. So what does it mean to you as a board member, and why does plan giving matter to an organization like Hearth?
Sure. Yeah. I'd say it's really about intention and longevity, stepping back and asking, what kind of impact do you want your resources to have, not just today, but well beyond your lifetime. And from being on the board, I think, plan giving is incredibly important because these plan gifts really help ensure the sustainability of an organization for generations to come. The plan giving allows nonprofits like Hearth to think long-term, to plan with greater confidence, and to continue serving these families, not just this year, but obviously many years down the road. For Hearth specifically, I think it matters because, like Christy said, stability is important, and it's not short-term work by any means. So these are generational challenges, and these legacy gifts just align beautifully with that. When someone includes Hearth in their estate plan, they're making a statement that they believe in the mission, they believe it's continuing to grow over time, and they believe that their impact can extend far beyond their lifetime.
That's beautifully said. Christy and Meagan, it may surprise some to hear that many, if not most, nonprofits recommend donors work with a financial advisor and or estate attorney on their plan giving. When donors loop in their advisors, what makes the process smooth and meaningful?
I love that question. I think it allows for giving to be much more thoughtful and integrated into the overall financial plan. At Heritage, we spend a lot of time helping clients really articulate what matters most to them. I think, Carrie, you do a great job at that. Just really diving into what are their values, the causes they care about, and the kind of impact they want to have. And from there, we can help align their giving with specific strategies. That's where my bread and butter comes in. And what I love to do is look not only at the values and the causes, but how we can mix those through tax-efficient vehicles or estate planning tools and other structures that support both the philanthropic goals, but also the broader financial picture. One example that, Carrie, you and I have talked about is the idea of endowing your annual gift. So, by including an organization like Hearth in estate plans, perhaps with an endowed fund, you essentially are assuring your annual gift goes on in perpetuity. And I think it's a thoughtful way to turn what might feel like a series of transactions into something enduring. When that kind of planning comes together, it's magical in my mind. Becomes about much more than the mechanics of the gift, and clients are able to see how their resources then reflect their values and shape their legacy and just create that meaningful impact over time.
Well, and you think it's magical, Meagan. The donor is probably feeling great, and Christy, I assume the organizations are also feeling pretty great about that.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Yeah.
So it's a win-win-win.
Mm-hmm.
So, Christy, what is one question you wish donors would ask you more often?
We are always so grateful for our donors. Hearth has a really incredible group of individual corporate donors, and many times we are receiving that contribution and we're writing a thank you and we might not get to connect. And, many donors, that is their preferred way of giving, and that is perfectly fine. But I would love, if a donor is interested in seeing where their support goes, to reach out. And I'd love to show them photos or come to Hearth and see their impact. We can absolutely keep the privacy of our families while also showing our donors the impact that they make through their financial gifts. And we just did that with a foundation who gave for our new after school program. And we were able to buy such cool STEM, tablet, tech, all these amazing items to make the after school program a place where kids want to be. And so we love showing off where donors and supporters, where their money goes to directly serve families.
That's great. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up, Christy?
Yeah, this upcoming fall, Hearth is having an event called A Bright Night on November 13th, and we'd love for all the listeners to join us. We are going to be celebrating both supporters and a few recent graduates of Hearth, and we would love to have everyone there. It's going to be a really, really fun night. It will be at the PPG Winter Garden. We're going to have a live painter who's going to auction off their work. We'll have some really fun music as well and great food and drink. So we'd love to have everyone there, and they can find out more information on our website.
That's great. Christy, Meagan, thank you for joining us today on Philanthropy in Focus and for sharing more about Hearth.
Thanks, Carrie. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks, Carrie.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. And for those who want to learn more or get involved, we've included links in the show notes. And I'm Carrie Miller, and this has been Philanthropy in Focus. See you next time.